Coming at ya from a couple of stools in the low class studios. This is a feminist and a comedian walk into a bar. What's up, guys? I'm your host, feminist Jackie Manti, and today I'm sipping on. Hold on, let me look up the official title: Sparkling Cucumber Limeade. But I made it with lemon and lime juice because I ran out. Limes are actually really hard to squeeze juice out of. Have you ever run into that problem, Justin, my co-host?
Squeezing juice
Out
out
of
of
limes?
limes. Yeah, cause if they're I don't know how limes work, but I just know if they're
Yeah.
not in season or you don't get good ones. I
Yeah.
mean, it's like
There's like nothing in them.
there's like no juice.
Yeah, dude, I bought like 7 and I got the juice of maybe 4.
Yeah, I think lemons. I don't know if just because they are like
They're a little more dense.
they're like an
bigger.
orange, like they're kind of always good. If
Mhm.
limes are more finicky, I mean, now I'm just talking out of school. So the point is, sometimes I just know there's bad limes. I don't know if it's
Yeah.
a bad batch, you go to a bad store, or there's a seasonal component to limes. But sometimes they stink.
Yeah.
But
These limes are like-
lemons seem to never really stink.
Yeah.
The same way oranges never really stink in terms of like juiciness. But limes, you can get ones that's like you're dry, like you don't even
It's
have
dry. Yeah,
juice.
they're here for decor.
Right.
They're-
So I know exactly what you mean, and yeah, it's
It
better.
was super frustrating.
So did you use just the
Yeah,
plastic
I used all of our lemon juice, FYI. So we'll need to get some more.
classic?
But
Manti.
I made my first syrup ever for a mocktail.
Oh,
Yeah,
baby's first syrup.
baby's first syrup. And this is freaking delicious. It's so refreshing. Do you want to taste?
No, I'm
No.
fine. What is it? Cucumber?
So it's
Do
cucumber.
the recipe.
Okay. So I heated up sugar, water,
And that's syrup.
and
What'd you do? Did you
hold
do
on,
a 1-to-1?
I'll tell you, sugar, water, half cup of each, with lime
So
zest in
1-to-1.
it.
Okay.
Yeah, half to half.
Okay.
With lime zest in it, and then let it sit for a second, and then mixed it with my combo of lemon and lime juice and cucumber, like sliced cucumber and mint, and then put it in the fridge for a day. And then I mixed that concoction with sparkling water.
Okay.
It's so good. It's
Very
super refreshing. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I
Because
use.
the cucumber helps it not be so sweet, you know?
Yeah, cucumber is underrated. Best Gatorade flavor. Some people, I feel it's like a real splitter. Have we talked about this on the pod before?
No.
It's a
Best
real
Gatorade flavor,
splitter.
go. Blue
Real
raspberry.
splitter. No, that's the worst. It's a real splitter. I feel like people are like, it's the grossest thing I ever had, and people are like, yeah, dude, it is fucking tight. And it's that cucumber lime Gatorade, that new one they came out
That
with.
is really good.
They came out with it a couple years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So my dad loves it. I don't know if it's like genetic.
Sort of tastes like that, but like carbonated.
It was funny because, like, you know, like my dad doesn't drink either, like, doesn't drink booze. And so, remember, we had parents, like, all our parents. So, my dad, stepmom, my mom, your parents over to our house for dinner, like, the night before our wedding. Like, we made dinner.
Mm-hmm.
So, I was kind of just like, all right, well, my mom drinks, Garnet drinks, and, like, I'll drink. So, I'll, like, you know, we were having pasta. So, I was like, I can get some wine. That's, like, an easy thing, like you could just get bottles of wine, you know, and like people just drink it. I mean, and I'm thinking besides water, obviously we'd have water. And I was like, you don't drink what you want, and I remember what I got you, maybe like, or maybe even just
like
said you'll just
sparkling
drink.
grape
You might
juice.
even just said you drink water. I don't even remember. And then I think we got iced tea for your parents. And I was like, what about my dad? And I was like, I'll get him. I'll get him some of that cucumber lime Gatorade.
Had he had it before?
He had just like raved about that. He loved it
Oh.
because so my dad hasn't drank in like a long time. 20 plus years probably now, at least 20, probably more, but at least around that. Anyway, so he's not drank for a while, but he drank a lot of like soda. Like he would usually just drink pop, and then he's been trying to get off soda, so he's been drinking more like Gatorade and juice, which like I don't bother to tell him that it's like just as much sugar as pop, but like because I'm making like positive decisions, so like I'm just like, yeah, good for you, but it's the same thing. But he's like, yeah, I've been like loving this cucumber lime.
Electrolytes?
And the cucumber lime come out like as a special flavor, and it's funny. Like, I think it's been marketed towards like Hispanic people. I don't know if that's like a Hispanic flavor profile, but like, it's like
They like limes, right?
but it's like the labeling's in Spanish very big. You know what I mean? And like you can find the English on it, obviously, but it's like Spanish forward, like limon, Gatorade, you know, whatever. And so I don't know.
I
Anyways,
guess I could
I just
probably
thought
have
that was just funny.
I could have combined that Gatorade with sparkling water and maybe had the same thing and garnished it with some.
Well, I'm just saying cucumbers are great. Like that's why I liked it. I remember the first time I had it, I was on like a comedy road trip, and we were like driving from date to date, and I was super hungover, and we stopped at a gas station, and we wanted to get like I was like, oh, I'm gonna get like a Gatorade, like rehydrate, but I wanted something more than water. I feel like when you're hungover, like you want the hydration, but you want some flavor because your mouth's probably like dry, and you want like some flavor. So I get a Gatorade, but I agree. Like I like vitamin water. I feel like that's like not as sweet. I feel like Gatorade's not as sweet as like soda, but it's still kind of sweet.
Mm-hmm.
So I saw like cucumber lime flavor, and I was like, I never heard of that before. It seems new. I'll try it. And like the cucumber is that flavor is so refreshing. I don't know why it's not used more in like sports beverages or like these like I don't know why there's not like cucumber flavored vitamin water. Like it's the most because it's like it's not sweet, but it's flavorful. I've never had a flavor that's like not sweet but also flavorful. That's what cucumber tastes like watermelon. Like watermelon wasn't sweet. So you get that flavor, but it's not so sweet. You're not feeling like that like hydration feeling. And then that lime citrusness also like takes it over the top.
Scratches all the itches.
So I'm sure that's a delicious beverage.
It's delicious.
I'll try one sometime. I was just asking because I used to make my own soda for in the fall. I would make my own ginger ale for with gingers. So good. Make it nice. I would do but I learned like I don't know if you had this problem. I would do like a 1-to-1 syrup, but then I felt like I had to add a lot of syrup to make the sparkling water sweet enough to taste like a soda, and I feel like that would weigh down the sparkling water and it would get flat.
Did you let it sit?
No.
Like sit in the fridge?
I don't think so. Does that help?
Yeah.
Well, also I think this also helps. I will try that too, but the thing I learned was to make like a 2-to-1 or 3-to-1 sugar syrup recipe. So it's sweeter, so
sugar
you have
water.
to well that's syrup.
Well, you said sugar syrup. You mean 2-to-1.
Oh, sorry.
Syrup.
Apologize.
Sugar
Yes.
to water.
Did I say syrup?
Yeah. You did. Justin.
I don't like that we have this
Rewind.
recorded because I'd rather just argue it and just wear you down until you admit that I was right.
No, I admit that you're right. I'll just be like, I don't fucking care.
That's a win.
You're
that
correct.
counts as a win.
Sure, Justin.
That's on points, still a win.
That's how you do most of your wins.
I don't know, man. I'm feeling really chill. I did a sauna just recently, so
what
I don't know.
Drinking?
I feel like I sauna, but still by mid-topic 1, I sauce up again. I feel like it only chills me out halfway through a topic.
Oh, this is you chill?
This is me chill. Do I not seem chill? I'm kind of talking about cucumbers.
I love cucumbers,
feeling very good. Feeling very Matthew McConaughey. Just talking about cucumbers. Just trying to do a podcast. Just talking about politics. But I think we can all get along.
With me is Justin Golak.
Wait, hold on, real quick.
Comedian.
Yeah, so I just made a stronger syrup. Then you have to add less liquid to your sparkling, so it holds the sparkle a little better. So just a tip out there: anyone wants to make your own ginger ale for whiskey gingers.
Or just follow the directions and let it sit in the fridge.
I might do that this fall for this coming up fall. I know we're like 5 months away from that now, but I might make some ginger ale, do whiskey gingers. Talk about that as my cocktail.
And I'll drink the ginger ale. It's perfect. What are you drinking tonight?
I'm sipping on Per Usual on Sauna Day, Lone Star, baby. Got another riddle. I haven't even looked at this one yet. Like I said, we had an answer. Wasn't not this last one. 2 episodes ago. Didn't have any action on this last one. Maybe you guys are too fucking stupid to get it. Is that the problem? You fucking idiots. Trying to like bait them. Isn't that how interaction works online now? You have to just like fucking insult someone.
Sauce them up.
There's no more decorum.
No
it's
more
just
polite conversation.
I bet because I bet I'll get what I want. It'll be tinged with like ugliness, but I bet people will be like, "Yeah, the answer is Burma. You fucking insert fucking homophobic." And I'll be like, "Well, I still got responses to the cat." Don't care for that ugly language, but let's see. I think I kind of got it. I got most of it, but I don't want to just like literally think on the air. That's not good, pod. But yeah, I will post a pic of the cap if you got the riddle at Justin Golak.
Time it too. If you got it faster than him.
At reply to that fucking bottle cap, and you'll win the pride of doing something right. I venture by May or June there'll be a prize element to it if enough people get involved.
Doug,
working,
keep those answers coming.
kind of working on inventorying some merch and stuff. So by May or June, I should know what I can give away without just giving
So go follow
giving everything
at
in my
Justin
drawer away.
Golak and get some practice in.
Yeah.
You can catch us at FemComPod.com. Check out all of our other episodes. We're on episode 64, so there's plenty in the back catalog for you to listen to.
Yeah.
And
especially it's cool to go back because we talk current events. Go back like a year and listen to all I was right about. Be like, that all did come true.
Or just see how anger has grown.
Yeah.
Over 64 episodes. You want to talk about Patreon?
No, we'll do that next. We'll do that next episode.
Okay.
I mean, we can mention it because it still exists.
I feel like
we'll have some Patreon updates when the next episode pops off. But yeah, Patreon. Go to patreon.com/LOClass no dash. We already got bonus content up there, but probably have some more coming up soon. Wink.
Wink, wink.
And yeah, we'll send you some merch. You can suggest a topic to the show. There's a lot of different benefits. For $1, you get the bonus episodes. It's $1. It helps us. It doesn't bother you, and you get some sweet content. I think the episodes we got up now are super fun, and I think some things we got planned will be even more fun. I was gonna say funner.
You also get our undying gratitude. You help us out a ton, so thank you so much to our current Patreons.
We got some Patreons, baby. We'd love some more.
And you can check out all of our content at lowclass.com, lo-class.com.
And we're a little far away from this. We do have, like I said, like a goal. So if we get 100 patrons
on Patreon,
you can set like goals for the page. So it's like if we get 100 patrons, we release more content than planned. So if you like the bonus content we're putting up and you want some more, all you gotta do is tell a friend. Be like, hey man, for $1 a month you can fucking help out these cool people.
Hey, would you like to be an arts patron?
And then we all get fucking bonus content. So yeah.
All right, let's dive.
Woo!
Topic one. Okay, so I want to talk about everyone's favorite rural mom, Roseanne. Let's talk about her new series.
Wait, did I start doing a different song?
I don't really recognize it.
What did I go into? I started That's it. What was I doing? Hold on. I got to think of what I was doing.
What were you doing? Sing it again.
Oh, I was doing. You know what I was fucking doing? You won't know what it is though.
What?
I was doing the Big Show's entrance music, the wrestler, the Big Show, because it's like kind of similar. Like it's kind of guitar riffy, like that kind of. But bluesy. It goes like, "'Cause he's the Big Show."
It does sound like
he's a big bad show tonight. But it's that real honky-tonky country kind of riff.
Yeah.
And so I think I did really start on Roseanne, but then I was like, what am I thinking? And I was like, because you know when you like kind of know the lyrics, because you're trying to figure out the lyrics to figure out what you were thinking, I was like, Bad Show? Was it a different sitcom? And I was like, Big Show. I was like, oh, God damn it.
Big Show's the name of the wrestler?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's a big guy.
Big Show.
Yeah.
Big country.
I'll play the song for you after.
So the article I sent you the headline was from the Washington Post, guys, and it says the 5 kinds of reactions to the Roseanne reboot across the political spectrum.
Well, there's a whole 5?
So if you've been living under a rock, Roseanne, which came out in the late 80s, early 90s, it was on.
Yeah, I don't. It was straight 90s,
no,
right?
No, it aired in 88, but I mean, it's like considered a 90s show, right?
Okay.
Beloved for its portrayal of average American life, right? And families, and just Roseanne's biting wit and sarcasm. It relaunched earlier this month, I think. But it's been that button topic, all the think pieces out
there. Yeah, I think it launched in March, if I remember.
March. Okay, so
recent.
The 5 reactions. 1, wholehearted approval sitcom and its star. So Roseanne is really of her support of President Trump on the show, and like it's her sister Aunt Jackie, the famous Aunt Jackie, is a nasty woman. She's a Hillary supporter,
but she's not even a Hillary supporter. She's a Jill Stein supporter.
Yeah, well we learned that eventually that she's upset with Jill Stein. 2, here's the second reaction: cautious support for the depiction of family struggle. Can
I just say something though? Is this really what the article is? I didn't read it. But like, is this really like what goes for writing nowadays at the Washington Post? Like, you could just say this about anything. You could be like, the 5 possible reaction to apples. Love apples. Kind of like apples. Don't care that much about apples. Apples are kind of gross. Apples are the worst thing.
Well, that's so.
Apples
I mean, we
support.
live in a time where cultural criticism / content is what sells. So yeah, they write about anything.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Okay, you want to hear number 3?
This is like one of those like psychology tests you'd take for $20 in college. Like, when someone steals, how likely would you be to tell somebody?
Very likely.
Yeah.
Most likely. I like the one. Is it Square, where you get like a smiley face or a frowny face about your service, and I'm like, that's all you need. Do you like it or not?
Square? Like, oh, like the
yeah,
swiping thing.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Okay, so.
Well,
back to number 2. So, cautious support for the depiction of familial struggles. Comedian Sarah Silverman tweeted that she loved the reboot because of how it portrayed the turmoil many families have experienced since Trump was elected president. Number 3, criticism of how the show inaccurately represents Trump voters. Jared Yates Sexton, a seemingly liberal university professor, tweeted that the reboot represents an idealized version of the president's base. You're right, this is super lazy reporting. They're just quoting tweets.
That is down dirty journalism, though.
Says,
going through tweets.
He added, the current show glazes over the fact that Roseanne is turning a blind eye to Trump's many, many bigoted statements. And then conservative people also fall in this camp and say it recasts Trump voters as social leftists who just disagree about economics. So they're saying it doesn't represent them enough because they're not trying to gay shock therapy the gay son. 4, disapproval of how the sitcom treats politics. Gosh. Let's see. Let me give you a synopsis of this. The resolution for Jackie and Roseanne fighting was for them to realize that their differing political views did not matter. Holmes argued, she's a person, NPR's host, Pop Culture Happy Hour, and that this is a dangerous conclusion. It treats politics like a separable, irrelevant disagreement that doesn't actually have any consequences. Well, that's the very real experience of a lot of people also.
Yeah, that's also just the actual reality of politics. It doesn't matter, and you're stupid for thinking so.
5, realization that Roseanne might not be worth watching after all.
Dude, I would have more respect for you if you started a podcast with your significant other than if you voted. I think this is the only rational approach to politics, is to talk about it for an hour every couple weeks for entertainment of others.
Hold on. I think this number 5 is really interesting. So someone wrote, writer, actor Kumail Nanjiani.
Kumail Nanjiani?
Nanjiani. I know.
Such a white lady right now.
I believe who can bring themselves to watch what art is a subjective. What? That doesn't even make sense. He wrote, I can't bring myself to watch a person who mocks teens whose friends were murdered, who traffics in conspiracy theories that damage our world and reality. So he's referring to Roseanne, the real Roseanne Barr, right? The comedian, that she is very vocal and
I mean, she's a little crazy.
She's a little crazy on her Twitter. But yeah, I think that's dumb too. I just think it heps into those conversations we've had about like separating the art from the artist, right? But I'm just wondering, so we've been watching Roseanne and I fucking love the reboot, but I want to hear your opinions first, and I'll talk about why I think it's
fine. And you know what's so funny about this is they address politics in the first episode, and then I don't think they really go into it at all the rest of the series. At least up until whatever episode just aired, like 4. We watched up to the most recent, I think, which was like 4 or 5.
Yeah.
And also, I think there's only supposed to be like 8 or 10 episodes this season. Like, it's kind of like a short run. But anyways, yeah, the whole last episode was just about like Darlene and what was David's them getting back together. Like, there's no
David Bing Bang.
Yeah, there's no politics
well, the
talk.
Politics
like it's
is
just
like
literally
like the undercurrent of all of it, right? That like politics.
But my point is, it's general storytelling about a relationship. You know what I mean? It's not political commentary. It's not even like all in the like the first episode is kind of like, hey, this is kind of like All in the Family, and then the rest of the episodes are like, this is a family sitcom about family stuff.
Yeah.
There's no real politics involved in the rest of the show.
Well, I guess you could consider Roseanne Barr as political.
The person?
Yeah.
Yeah, but why do you care?
I know. I agree.
Can I just say this? I don't, again, I just, like we talked about, episode 64, I don't remember what I've said, but this, I would say this every episode just to grind it into the ether of the overall subconscious of the world. If you demand your artists to be stable, rational, middle of the road, maybe slightly left of it people, you are going to get boring, unwatchable, unreadable, unenjoyable art for the rest of your boring, bland, scrubbed with fucking Lysol life. Like, it's just so funny to me. Like, I first started yelling this at people with like the Kanye stuff. It's like,
Yeah.
he's so weird. It's like, that's
Well,
why.
that's why he's so good.
Ask your fucking uncle to make an album and see how good it is.
Maybe
It
your
will,
uncle's also weird.
but not fun weird. You know, like, you know what, but
Not like brilliant.
but you
weird.
know what, the uncle, you, like Chris Rock used to say, you have uncles to teach you about every aspect of life, and you have that one uncle that is just so milk toast boring. Do you want to listen to his album? No, you want to listen when someone says in all caps, Mark Zuckerberg, give me $3 billion so I can save the world. I'm not going to give him $3 billion. I'm going to recognize that he is unstable, but I'm going to go, give me that next album the day it comes out. And I guarantee you I will listen to it all summer the way I did with Life of Pablo, which wasn't even his best, but was a solid effort. So it's just like, I don't know. I just don't know what you want. Like, I just don't think Roseanne is evil or harmful. She believes conspiracy theories. She yells a lot, but she's not like
Here's the
a
thing about
Nazi. But she's fucking crazy. That's why you've laughed at her for literally
Yeah.
over 2 decades.
And well, that's what made her, the original so brilliant is that she challenges everything you assume that Hollywood assumes that pop culture assumes, right? Like that's what made that such a remarkable TV show in the 90s is because it showed something in a way that hadn't been shown before. And so many people connected to it and was like, this is not even, you don't even have to be like, this is my life to find it funny or interesting. And like, I think the more just such dangerous territory to try to shut down. Just don't watch it. Just don't watch it. Like,
But
just
again-
to try to shut down other people's stories or viewpoints.
But again, this is what I'm saying. This isn't even a rant. Like, keep in mind, frame this the way I'm trying to frame it, and don't reframe my words. I'm saying you, Jackie. I'm saying the general you. This is not a rally cry against like PC culture and the intolerant left. It's not that at all. It's not. It's the fact that it's the fact that it's the sterilization of interesting people. You know what I mean? Like that's what it is, and like I said, you're making art uninteresting, and it's kind of like you said, like, what do you exactly want then? You know what I mean? Because if you made it too quote unquote, let's say you make it the same show, but like the literal opposite. I don't even know what that would be, but again, just hypothetical. Now it's the literal opposite of everything the show is. Well, now you're gonna have the right mad. You're gonna have the right as mad as the left is mad now. And then they're gonna be like, "Well, let's try to adjust it." And then what do you? Then after ping pong again, in a perfect world, you ping pong back and forth and find this grand compromise. And what do you have? You have, I don't know, like the news read by a computer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Without using any pronouns, just they, just read by a computer. Because you know you can't. Well, the race of the person that delivers the news that can be biasing. So just a computer voice reading AP News stories, that's what you want, and you just want that 24 hours a day.
Today in Syria. Yeah. Well, and I think that
I don't know, like, I just don't know what these people want.
I think they want to be heard. It's such a we beat this 200-pound pony to death, you know, and like I just think that Roseanne, that's why that writer, that NPR writer who's like, this just shows it's a dangerous message because it shows that politics don't have to matter. And I just hate that because what I love about this new series is that I love that Aunt Jackie, I'm like literally Aunt Jackie in my family, right? Like when you clash with your family on a political, ideological level, you have to learn how to make politics not matter. And saying that that's a dangerous idea is like I don't know. It's like spitting in the face of like
Well,
peace within a
well,
family.
again,
You
yeah,
know?
it's like saying that families just fracture and never talk to each other is not a dangerous idea.
Yeah, and like,
That's okay. That's what you should do. You should
and
tell your mom
honestly,
to suck a dick and never call her again.
yeah.
Let her just, let her just moan with dementia by herself because she voted the wrong way in one
Gosh.
election.
Well,
That's better.
and I think that that's part of the process of getting toward peace and compromise is letting it go sometimes. You know what I mean? Like Roseanne and Jackie in that first episode agree to disagree basically and throw barbs at each other, rightfully so, about the other side being stupid or misled or misguided, you know? And but that's part of the process. And
And you know what's fucking interesting too? Again, one of these things where it's like it just always reminds me of that Hitchcock thing, right? Where they talk about how after the what's that movie? Psycho. Everyone talks about how like brutal the shower stabbing was and how everyone thinks they
mm,
saw someone stabbed in the shower. But like if you literally go through it frame by frame, like you never see anyone getting stabbed. Like it's just the way they cut it. You kind of like imagine it. So
mm-hmm.
everyone thinks they saw it. And it's just funny how that happens throughout life so often. Like, because I remember hearing this before watching the first episode and then really listening, and it's true. No one in the episode talks about who they voted for, like confirms it.
Except Jackie Jill Stein.
She says, I don't think she says her name though. I think what she says to Roseanne, which makes it funny, is she says like, "You talked me out of voting out. You talked me out of voting for
Oh.
her because you brought up the emails or something." I don't remember what but basically she said that.
She made her. Roseanne's arguments made her distrust her gut enough that she
Yes.
voted for not her heart, right?
Yeah, and
Mm-hmm.
she voted for, and I think she even said like she voted for that crazy lady or something. You know what I mean? So like I don't know, but they never said names, and even Roseanne, like again, implies that she liked Trump, but again, could be one of these people like I liked him. Did you vote for him? I don't vote. You know what I mean? So like
Yeah.
it's never implied that they voted really. Like again, but again, it's like that fucking shower scene. Everyone's like, "No, I watched it." Roseanne said she voted for Trump like 5 times. And it's like she never really does. Again, I'm not trying to be like fucking coy. I know it's implied she does. I'm just
Sure.
saying I think it's clear when you see the fact that they don't say it, they just imply it, that they are just trying to say, like, hey, this isn't CNN. This is a comedy show on ABC. We're using the dynamics of politics to add humor to this family dynamic.
Right.
But we don't care about like endorsing candidates for an election that's already happened on a television show. That's not what this is about.
This whole discussion kind of reminds me of when Tom Segura, is that his name?
Yeah.
The comedian, it just was all over social media that he said retarded people should be murdered, and everyone banned him, and they wanted to take his comedy special off Netflix. And if you actually watch the special, he
Yeah.
doesn't say anything like that, and in fact, like, agrees with these people who are defending,
Well,
or not
he
agree,
agreed
but
now, but like he just basically like you should listen to there's even I think a pull clip on YouTube of him talking to Joe Rogan about it on Joe Rogan's podcast. So you can probably
about
even
the
just watch that.
hysteria that ensued.
But this basically
people
like
not listening to the
people
actual
didn't
thing. They just read a headline
yeah.
and made an assumption about what
And
he
there was
said.
like people that messaged him saying like I heard you said this.
You should die.
And he was just like you didn't watch it, did you? And they're like no. And it's like, well, I did not say anything like that.
And it kind of reminds me of this, where, I think, and that's fair because of how Roseanne Barr acts on Twitter. Like, she's very provocative on there and is trying to get a rise out of you. But, like, that's why the series is so smart, is because it doesn't, like you said, it's a little more subtle, and you're kind of making your own assumptions about it based on that.
What do you want? Not you again, but what do you want? Like, what would you have art and artists do? You have art be placating to everyone and artists be boring and I just don't want my artists becoming like the new athletes, like the most make funnable interviews ever. Like, hey, so what do you guys think you're gonna do? You guys lost game 2, you got game 3 coming up. What's gonna happen? Well, it's gonna play hard, and we're just gonna really try to rally around. We're not looking to game 4. We just got game 3 to win right now. If we win that, we're not looking forward to the next team. We're focused on this team, and that's what we got to stick together. We got to play hard. 48 minutes, play hard the whole time. It's like,
thank you.
you know what I mean? It's like, it's just like, and that's what you're going to have art. You're going to, if you keep doing this, you're going to be like, hey, so, comedian X, what are you excited for your sitcom coming up on ABC? Well, we're just going to get in that writer's room. We're going to write the best jokes we can. We're going to rehearse them. And we're going to get out there and just try to make people laugh. Laughter makes people feel better. And we just want to make people feel better.
Do you think part of it comes from the fact that, like, we as a society don't treat our artists very well? Like, we don't really value the work that artists do.
But that's all you have to do to treat them well is leave them the fuck alone. And when they say stupid
and give them
shit,
grant money.
and like I said, they're not the news. So this is what you do. Yeah. When artists say dumb shit, you either go like, I'm going to let myself enjoy this on a Tuesday, or you're going to be like, I don't care. I'm going to ignore it. It's the fact that you take it as the weird, this weird thing of taking artists, just their nonsense as gospel is crazy. I'm talking about myself, someone that talks here for an hour every 2 weeks. Again, I'm saying, don't ignore me, do the former and laugh at it. Don't vote based on what I say.
Well, and there's so much
Enjoy it.
In art and cultural history is supposed to. The whole point is to make you think. It's not to. That's the idea behind innovation and exploration, right? It's like presenting ideas that just get you to think about something. It's not saying that it's right or wrong or this is what we should do. It's not when you make an artistic piece like a writing or I don't know, for you a joke, like you're not saying this is the be all end all. And I don't know, I just feel like we've gotten in such a world where we have these sports interviews where everything's so scripted and perfectly on point. Politicians are so on point. Like we don't know how to react to something. I mean, obviously it's scripted, but like a little more art is more, right? Like,
but you nailed it, right?
Experimental or just supposed to get your wheels turning. It's like we don't understand how to take in art.
Art can't change the world, but at its best, it can maybe make people think, and maybe eventually one of those people might change something for the better 50 years from now slightly. That will get reversed back 2 times worse, but we can't think about that now. But like the point is, yes, that's the best art can do when it's clocking on all cylinders. And the point is that both sides of the aisle, thinking is the enemy, right? Abortion is murder, right? There's no differences between men and women biologically. Stop. Don't think about it. Don't think about either of those things. Because if you think about it, you realize it's nonsense. Both those things are nonsense. And both those things are from...
And if you question it, we will kick you out of the club.
Right. Exactly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like... And again, you know what I mean? Like, and I'm not saying either of those things don't have nuance. So I'm not saying both... I'm just saying, like, both those things are... They win. Like, the people that throw those ideas forward, there's always a comma, don't think about it. Just repeat that.
More like asterisk.
Don't think about it.
Don't say
so
it
that's
loud,
you nailed it, right? The purpose of art is to make you think. Anything that actually steps on that possibility is just it's blasphemous.
Do you have any favorite like family based TV shows you've been
all
watching
the family.
lately?
It's the GOAT.
Any new ones?
Carmichael Show was going to be our
So
generation's All in the Family. But NBC fucked that.
I cannot believe the Carmichael Show. You know what got me on board with them?
Huh.
Was when they did. Well, I thought it was all funny, but I wasn't like. I didn't really understand what you meant until I saw the episode about where the grandma wanted to kill herself.
Yeah.
Because she was entering dementia and Alzheimer's, and they had like family conversations about why she would want to die on her own terms, and she did it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was fucking nuts. That was
great.
so nuts to me that
that show was crazy funny.
She did it. It was so smart.
Crazy funny, crazy subversive.
So subversive.
You know, so it had all the things. It wasn't just preachy and it wasn't just funny. It was equally both. It could have been our generation's All in the Family, but network TV sucks. People suck. Everything sucks now.
No.
And that's the thing. But that's the thing about someone like Gerard Carmichael, who's amazing, is there's too many. Here's the thing. Networks are going to die, and the general public who feels the need to comment on everything, they're going to lose out because there's too many channels. And I don't even mean TV channels. I just mean channels for distribution. And people willing to stick in and stick with it, and people with something to say are usually willing to, like, they'll find a way. And I think that's why, like, as opposed to censoring things or blocking things by shutting them down,
Mm-hmm.
you now just let them pivot because you can't shut stuff down. There's just too much freedom of information. So I think that it's not so much that NBC like canceled the Carmichael show. It was that I think Gerard Carmichael stopped caring because he saw the writing on the wall. And now when you see the writing on the wall, you don't have to care. I mean, here's someone that had 2 HBO specials in the time. Well, he had the first one, before the show, but I think the second one came out during the show's run, if not right after. Yeah, I think it was during. And they're both great. I think the second one's way better. But the point is like, again, you have someone that has an NBC sitcom, and they're like, we don't know if you should. And I feel like 20 years ago, you'd be like, oh, if you don't think we should, you would at least think about negotiating.
Yeah.
But now you're like, I'll just do a third HBO comedy special. And guess what? I get Bo Burnham to fucking direct and edit it, and you guys just go like, yes, it seems funny, and you put it up there with no commercials, no censorship.
Right.
And I can also do that live, even more free than even HBO,
Yeah.
whenever I want, and people will come out by the hundreds to see me. Why would I curb my vision at all to be on NBC? I was up there for 3 seasons. I got, you know what? You gave me enough exposure and enough money that I can now go do whatever I want.
That's cool for artists, though, right?
You know what I mean? I'll do a fucking Netflix show. I'll just, you know what? I'll do a crowdfunding. I'll get enough money to buy the rights to my own show, and we'll just do season 4 on fucking Hulu, and it'll be uncensored. It'll be better. So it's like that's the same thing. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know what Roseanne will even want to do because she's a little older. Gerard Carmichael's kind of like younger, so he has a lot of stuff to still give. But so Roseanne probably just wanted to maybe do this kind of as a one-off. But again, if you just keep complaining, she'll be like, all right, season fucking 11 will be a Hulu show. It'll be 24 episodes, and fucking Trump will make a guest appearance in episode 4. You know what I mean? Like, and no one will care, and no one can say anything.
I think that Roseanne and how popular it's been, and I love it. But I think it's a mark of a sea change in television as far as family comedies, right? And I just feel like something like, remember when Modern Family came out, and it was such a like, again, another sea change as far as like this family, like there's a gay couple and they're adopting, and it's talked about, but it's not like it's not like it's not like something we all have to come to terms with the fact that they're gay. You know what I mean? It just was presented as like, yeah, they're part of the family, right? And I feel like now that wouldn't even be, it's cool, right? Like that we've progressed so much that I don't think that's even, not even shocking. Shocking is not the right word, but I feel like now these like I think Roseanne and I think Blackish is a great example of, although Blackish leans more toward the not preachy, but like educational aspect of things, right? They do such a good job of explaining why their family is the way they are, why he thinks the way he does about white people, or it's really cool. And I feel like those are the discussions that we are moving toward as far as TV as an art form and script writing evolves. And that's why Roseanne is so cool. It's cool that it's like an old school TV show we all know and love, but everything about it in its content feels right for right now. And I personally, I'm a lefty liberal, but like I love it. I still relate to it so much, and like see my family and my experiences in there.
But don't let them win by even fucking saying that. I'm a lefty liberal and I still like it. You're just a good connoisseur of art.
No, that's
why
really
you like it.
That's a really good point, Justin.
You let them win when you let them win the battle of language.
I feel like, you know how the religious right took over the conservative movement? We're getting what can we the leftists are like taking over the Democrat progressive space, and like I don't feel like I belong to it anymore in certain ways, you know, and I feel like those extremes are just so extreme and so in your face that's what feels like who those groups are, but that's not true, right? 'Cause there's still people like you and me in them who want to see the nuanced version, who still respect and want to see these other experiences. Well, I don't know if you respect them, but
I don't respect much.
You don't respect anyone. Do you want to move on to topic 2?
Let's topic 2 it up. All right, so Starbucks. They kicked a couple brothers out of their Starbucks chain because they did not buy any coffee and they wanted to use the bathroom.
Not that they wanted to stay there. That was the problem.
Well, they wanted to stay without drinking, without buying anything, and then they wanted to use the bathroom, which is a customers only situation. You're chewing cucumber right into the microphone. I don't know if the
I'm
listener.
just giving them the live experience.
I don't know if the listener can hear it, but I can hear it in my headphones. Fucking varmint. All right, so. Here, maybe snack.
Justin calls me a little squirrel. I'm always squirreling around.
Yeah, more like a raccoon because I can always tell you've been somewhere. So there's always crumbs strewn about. Jackie, did you get into the garbage?
Live free, eat trash.
All right. So, anyways, I don't know. So, well, what do you think? Just real quick, like yes or no. Do you think it was racist of what they did at that Starbucks?
Okay, so
Said yes or no. You can't say okay. We'll get more into it, but I just want to know you just gut reaction.
The thing is that here's my so my gut reaction is I don't know the whole story and I want to know the time that it took and what happened beforehand because
that's not a you don't know. That's not what gut reaction.
Okay, well
is.
then my gut reaction is no.
Okay, interesting. I thought you would say gut reaction yes, and then let's learn more. Okay, cool.
Well, of course my gut reaction was yes because that's what all the headlines said. When I dug a little further, I thought no.
Well, that's what I'm saying. My gut reaction was yes. And then my kind of conclusion from the facts was not I would
not
say
totally.
not positive. Not a good look.
Right.
So, but and that's what I would say is this idea of like is it because of how like you could say we have a policy, this is the policy, but based on the facts, you would have to say that maybe your policy enforcement was guided by how these men looked. I think that's probably the most fair way to say it.
And like racial bias presents itself in so many ways, even if you don't have a clear cut, even if they did take time. Like we don't exactly know what was in this manager's head, what her experiences were. It was in a ritzy area of town. Like racial bias, let's just assume there's usually always racial bias. Is that racist? I mean, and this story is just much more complicated than those initial headlines. But
totally. And real quick, because I don't want to. So I think we've talked about that enough. Because the topic I want to get into, I want to scrub race from it, because I think this.
I'm eating away from the microphone.
But we got one more topic. Just have a snack later.
I need nourishment.
You're such a fucking raccoon. So, all right. So I wanted to get it out because we can't not address it. So we've addressed it. We've come to a similar conclusion, which I think is the rational one, and blah blah blah. So I would just like to more address the issue at hand, the issue that brought. So the point is, if the action taken was racially motivated, which we both agree doesn't look good. That's the best. That's the most credit we can give
racism?
them. What?
If you act on racial bias, that's racism, right?
Yeah, but my point is, I don't know for a fact that they acted on racial bias, but it doesn't look
good.
That's what I'm trying to say. Like,
okay.
I'm believing. # I believe them that that's what happened.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna go up there and fucking pick it. You know, I couldn't get inside their head, and that's my point. Is to me the quote unquote facts that would need to come out is that this Starbucks notoriously is it's in a busy part of town and they got limited seating, so they really cracked down on this.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would be like, maybe it's not racist. Or if it's like, no, they've never thrown anyone out, this is the first time, then I'm like, that's the most racist. It's probably somewhere in the middle, probably leaning a little towards the latter. But you know what I mean? Like I need more. And that's what I kind of wanted to get into. Now that you can't talk about this, not discuss race. We discussed race. Now let's talk about something else for the rest of the topic that maybe other things haven't addressed. Because I like to try to do fresh takes on things. I just want to talk about the idea of what is the customers, what are their, I don't want to say rights, but what are their expectations and what are the businesses' expectations and how can they mesh and what rights, again, rights loosely, does a business have in terms of like, you got to pay to be here. This is private property, loitering and whatnot. And I found this just Washington Journal, Wall Street Journal headline. And I'm only going to read you the headline because I didn't want to pay the paywall to read the rest of the article. But I think the headline kind of describes what I want to talk about, which it says, Starbucks lacks clear guidance for employees on non-paying customers. Starbucks fosters idea Starbucks fosters idea that customers are welcome to work or hang out in its cafes, yet there is no consistent policy on how long. And so that's kind of what I wanted to get into is maybe if there's a maybe at this Starbucks that is in the story, maybe there's a white guy hanging out for 30 minutes, no one talks to him. Maybe there's a black guy that quote unquote looks sketchy, he gets talked to in 5 minutes. That's the racial bias. But the point is like I said, I'm sure a Starbucks that's super not busy, probably less caring about you loitering and hanging out. A Starbucks that's really busy in a really busy part of town probably wants more turnover so people that order stuff have a place to work and they get seating for the orderers, and that's how they sustain their business. So I'm just saying that I think it's interesting that they don't have a policy. You know what I mean? You would think because...
Well, they did. That's why they called the cops. Because they said but the wording was very
and that's why the headlines lacks clear because their marketing, like they said, their marketing, their brand image is hang out. This is your coffee house. This is an extension of your work, an extension of your play. But I'm sure somewhere at manager meetings, managers are telling employees like, hey, this is a busy corner. We get real traffic in here from 6 to 9 a.m., and we get a lot of people working past their lunch break. So if there's anyone in here not ordering and it's around noontime, you got to really crack down on that, all right? So, all right, go out there, team. Let's do this. Go make your $7 an hour. You know what I mean? So, like...
I know. That's what sucks.
So, I guess,
manager.
just what do you... do you think, just in general, there is this, like... kind of like... what's the word? Like, fucking... What's the word when you, like, expect something? Been, like, not getting good at finding words lately. I think I'm going to have Alzheimer's.
Like you expect something? Like...
Yeah.
You're entitled?
Entitlement. What is what's this weird entitlement
I always
that
think
people
that when
have?
I can't remember words, I'm like, am I...
This is the start of it. This is the baby steps towards like, hello, are you my sister?
Aww.
She died.
It's in both of our families, too.
Yeah. So, I don't know. My grandma started getting it at an age that I do not think I'll live to, so it'll be okay. So anyways, so I guess my point is...
do we think we're entitled to...
Yeah, is the customer getting too entitled in general? Because it almost just seems like this thing of like...
coffee houses are hard because there's this trust that they're putting in you as a consumer to not be an asshole, right? To buy something if you're going to use the restroom. Or don't stay for 5 hours if you bought 1 cup of coffee at 9 a.m., you know? And like...
And I guess that's the thing is with this Starbucks story, again, if we just squash race... If a manager comes over to you and is like, "Would you like something?"
Which they did,
and which is kind of like a wink, wink, nudge, nudge, like you should probably get something if you're gonna chill. And then you go no, and then they're still like, okay. And then you go, hey, I'm gonna use the restroom, and they're like, you need to order something.
Yeah.
And then they're like, okay, you're not ordering anything, you need to leave. Like, there's kind of been like multiple steps. Like my point is, I don't think that the manager would have been like, would you like to order something? And then he would go like, yeah, I don't know, just like a small black coffee. And she might have rolled her eye. I don't know. This lady seems more like a cunt than a racist, but maybe she rolls her eyes and brings you the coffee. But again, I don't think you're getting kicked out. I think you stay there 6 hours and she doesn't bother.
Right.
You. So my point is, again, so what's the entitlement if the wall is just cheapest thing on the menu, bring it over here. I'll drink. Here's $2. I will stay here as long as I want. If that's the wall that seems like unattainable, then how much are we really
then
blaming?
We are monsters.
We are monsters, right? When is it that we are monsters?
Well, can I talk? I mean,
I suppose.
I feel this story is so interesting to me because I do so much work from cafes and
so I thought you'd have an interesting insight.
Work at them a lot, and I'm very in tune with, I don't know, trying to be respectful of the fact that this is someone's business. They do want me there, though. Like, when I go to pop over this little coffee shop at the end of our block, me sitting in a corner draws in people. Not because it's me, just because, like, when you see someone...
Is that Jackie Manti?
Is that her? Have you heard?
From FemComPod?
When you see people in the shop, you're more, you know what I mean? It gets more people in, right? So it's sort of a mutual benefit, but, like, that's not my responsibility. But I do try to be respectful of, like, Yeah, if it's super busy and someone's looking for a seat and I've been here for 5 hours and I only got one cup of coffee, like I'm gonna leave. I'll go to another place because I just think that that's respectful of the business owner's space, right? And it's funny because I've noticed in the past year and a half, more and more places, Starbucks included, have gotten those keypad locks on the doors of the restrooms. So you need to go and ask someone at the counter for the code, unless you already know the code. So you could have been there before, but they change them pretty frequently. And that's sort of, I think, a check for the employees to be like, okay, well, that person just came in and is just using the restroom. And yeah, I don't think a business has a that should be our community, our civic. Why don't we have more spaces for people to piss? Why do they have to
I
come in
would
here and not buy
love,
something?
as someone that pees a lot, I would love like the European model
Was
where they
that?
just have like toilets in the middle of the street and you just pay like a quarter or whatever to use it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're like porta potties. But again, to me, again, not only is that perfect for peeing, but it gets to the point, it gets to the core of what I'm saying is that I'm
Well,
sure they have to maintain those restrooms because it's a restroom. And I'm
sure.
sure that fucking a
And it's still
junkie.
a service that takes
Right. And I'm sure a junkie
they have
could
to
get a
pay
dollar
for.
together to use that public restroom and fucking make a fucking mess of it. But the point is once you're paying that quarter, even the quarter or the
You
one, I
have
think it's
some
like one
ownership of
euro,
it.
so maybe like a buck. Yes. So the point is, it's like, I don't want I would rather have a bunch of people drinking a $1.80 cup of coffee for 5 hours than a bunch of people that have bought nothing there for 45 minutes. Because I think those people that are there for 45 minutes with nothing have no investment. And I think, and we talked
I've
about this before, when it comes to the library, I would love a $10 a year library card fee. Otherwise, why would it not always just be homeless people sleeping in it?
What I was gonna add is that I have seen at Starbucks people get kicked out, not kicked out, just a friendly like, and sometimes not so friendly when he didn't wake up. Like tap on the chair of like, hey, like he knew his. I remember the Starbucks employee like knew his name and called him by name. Was like, hey, you got time to go. And I feel like he had been sleeping there for a few hours.
Yeah, they gave
And
them
just at the
they gave them a
table,
buffer.
yeah, and like I was impressed with how the guy handled it. He treated him like a human fucking being, said his name, tapped him on the shoulder, was like, but it was also stern and like, you gotta leave. And props to the guy too for leaving when he was asked, like was like, okay, well, this
But
I
that's
stayed
the
my
point,
also
right? The
there are
point
some
is,
Starbucks that have gotten rid of the space. Like I was down at in Lakeview and I was gonna work from the Starbucks there on the corner of Belmont and Broadway, across from Target. And I went in and it said now open, and I was like, oh, they've been open forever though. Like what are they talking about? And I went in and like all the seating spaces were gone. It was just like a cafe and with pastries, and like all you could do was pop in and leave. And I was like, they totally did that because people stayed here forever, and it just clogged. I remember
and
that
now
Starbucks would
people
clog
can't.
everything
So
up.
that's the point. Is like now you can't work there.
I can't work on my Great American
And I
Novel.
don't mean like you, but like now that again,
we can't have
usually
nice
when
things.
we can't have nice things. And my point is always like, again, the thing about empathy, it's like I always talk about, like the thing that makes it hard, and this is just like old leftism. This isn't even new. The thing that makes it hard to be on the left is, like I said, it's the old thing about like we are the 99%, right? Like screw the 1%. And it's like, look, I don't like the 1%, but also I don't want everyone from the 99% on my team. I want to lose the 1%, and I also don't care about the bottom 4%.
Why?
Or even the bottom 5. I think I said the bottom 5%. I think my rallying cry was we are the 94%. And I always think of it that way about because that's what happens, right? You can't. People are it's this thing. People are quick to call you a fucking mongrel, but they don't even think about the implications of what you're saying when you say it from a caring place, because they just assume you're a mongrel. But really, they're the mongrel because
Say
they
what
just
from
want
a
to live in
caring place?
chaos. What I say is, hey, let's make fucking the library $10 a year to use. Let's like regulate computer use time. Let's give priority to maybe people with like a high school or college ID. And yeah, no sleeping. if you stink too much, I think even you should be asked to like leave. You know, clean up, then come back. And people, oh, so fucking that's you, this bougie fucking monster just fucking wants to. That homeless guy, he's gonna go out in the freezing cold, and you don't want him fucking, playing Yahoo games for 5 hours because then you're just gonna send him in the cold. You don't even care about people. It's like, no, you know who I care about? I care about who the library was intended for. The 10-year-old whose fucking mom is too poor to afford her books, but she knows that there's something wrong about where she lives. She knows she wants to do better than that. Maybe be in a position in 10, 20 years to help her mom, the way her mom tried so hard to help her, but just could never get over the hump, but gave her enough to get by, and now she wants to get back. And she wants to go to that fucking library. She wants to go to that library and read and learn and do her schoolwork and be somewhere safe while her mom goes to that second job. So you tell me I don't care about poor people? I don't think you give a fuck about poor people. If you're okay with that 10-year-old going to that library filled with stinky, mentally ill, homeless men jerking off and playing video games on all the computers so she can't do her research paper, so she's scared to go into the children's section because it's blocked by a guy napping on the play area. That's who you care. So who do you care about then? You care about people that don't care about themselves, but the people also right at the bottom, the people just above the poverty level of these people, but that are actually trying. You don't care about them, but you'll care about someone that doesn't even care about themselves. And to me, that's
can't. I just think, okay, I agree with you with a tempered resolution, okay, per usual again. I think that's a cool idea, the $10 a year, and like honestly, like prorated if you're low income, right? But like here,
no, because then you get problems.
Whatever, fuck you. But like here's
because then the homeless guy will be like,
can
I have prorated? I just came on everything nice.
Here's the thing. The library is the only place. Zadie Smith in her new book has this amazing essay about libraries and how they're like the last real public spaces where you can just be and not be expected to buy anything, and that's why they're so cherished. Which again is like, okay, guys, so get out of Starbucks if you're not buying anything, because that's anyway. The people that you're talking about so crudely, the stinky homeless people, if the money we save from charging $10 a year for your library membership card, that goes to the library, helping fund that. The money we save that we've been spending on libraries can then go to mental health care.
And I said that in my plan.
Can we, in your four-point plan?
When we talked about this off air, I said,
I know, but you hadn't brought it up.
Because you said, like,
you just called them stinky.
But they are. They are. But then you said, like, well, they have problems. I said, fine.
Well, no. I said no. Do not paint me as this. As
I'm not painting you as. I'm just saying.
My idea was that the money that you saved would go.
That was my idea.
No, it was my idea. I wish we'd recorded our earlier argument. I just said we need to then build up spaces where these mentally ill people or homeless or struggling people in that way in that capacity can go and feel safe. Again, boosting our addiction rehab centers. Like, you then said, to give you credit, you said, no, we won't give the money that the library saved or funding that was going to go to the libraries goes to those places. Because I was like, the money earned from the $10 a year thing could go to the mental health care. You're like, no, that goes to the library.
And also, just so you know, the $10.
So we're both right.
And so I proposed that idea, by the way. But like,
no.
I'm not even trying to take credit for the idea. I'm just also saying.
Our idea that's going to go nowhere.
I'm just also saying, like, it's not like I don't have sympathy for the stinky homeless man at all. But again, I do have more sympathy.
Or woman.
I do. No, because she gets sucked dick for money. She has really no excuse. No, I'm just saying. But I think I'm better than you, fucking bleeding heart, fucking picket sign bitch, because I care about the 10-year-old trying to get her homework done more than the 48-year-old that gave up on his life 12,000 bottles of booze earlier. I care about her more. And you don't. And that's the point. Again, like, yeah, it's a library. It's not a homeless shelter. If your proposal is buy more homeless shelters, sure. I already get taxed on every fucking bag I buy in this city. I'm sure you could take some of that money and build a homeless shelter, and I'm A-okay with that. I'm not anti-homeless shelter. What I am anti is turning learning facilities into homeless shelters and turning sidewalks into fucking campouts and all this other shit where we just give up nice things to people that don't care. And again, I am a liberal because you say, well, they don't have anywhere to go. Let's campaign on building somewhere to go instead of picketing. Let them nap and jerk off in the place with all the books. And so to me, you don't care. You just want to do nothing. You just would rather have chaos. And again, like I said, the $10 a year, yeah, that's not going to sustain the library. And I'm not trying, because again, $10 a year, that's not keeping anyone from getting a library card. The point is, you pay $10 a year, okay? You're going to feel ownership of that library system. And you're going to be more likely to report, this guy's been kind of, because I feel even people that act the right way in free spaces are more willing to say, like, well, it's fucking free. What do you expect? But when you're like, hey, dude, I pay 90 cents a fucking month. Can we get some systems in place to kind of like, let me do my fucking homework? Let me do some fucking research for this and that. I don't have internet at home. I want to fucking apply for some jobs. This is my only time. And now literally I'll just see the grossest fucking laziest fucking bygone individuals.
Maybe they're applying for
just
jobs.
playing Yahoo game. That's what the library's for? To play flash games on a computer? There's fucking 6 in some of these fucking libraries. And there's just kids around fucking that could be learning. There's fucking people around that could be applying to jobs. Fucking there's so many government forms now that are online only or online best. And some people don't have computers or internet. And they just want to go and file for their fucking SNAP benefits. But again, you bleeding heart liberal fucking cunt. You'd rather let the homeless guy, let that homeless guy play Yahoo games. Oh, but what about the fucking single dad that's trying to fill out his SNAP form because he doesn't have a computer or internet? But fuck him. He's only trying to get his kids food. But this guy, he's got to take a nap. And it's like, well, one guy's trying. And I'm pro his SNAP benefits, and I'm pro the free library helping him get it. Why am I a monster? Why am I a Republican? Why? Are you just bad at what you do and you don't want to listen to me because I make you realize how bad you are at being liberal, how bad you are at actually caring about and helping people? That's why you fucking hate what I say, because you realize that your solution is do nothing. Let people nap where they want. It's public space. Your solution is do nothing and everything works out. That's why people like that hate me, because I'm like, oh, I'd actually rather help the 10-year-old by marginalizing someone that doesn't give a shit about their life and will be dead of hepatitis in 6 months. That's how you care. Yeah, that is how I care. I can assign value. That doesn't make me a monster. That makes me a fucking pragmatist. That the 48-year-old that's just bygone, he does mean less than the 10-year-old. And I do care about her more. Doesn't mean I don't care about him, but it means like, hey man, that little X in the top right corner, that's an exit button. Click that and let this fucking little girl finish her fucking calculus homework. Okay?
Because she's going to be the next president.
Well, she's a woman, so no, but she could be like a congressman or something.
I just think it's like
congressperson.
It's like
sorry, I am liberal.
If your oil tank is leaking and you just keep pouring more oil in it instead of fixing the hole, right?
Yeah.
Like that's at least how I look at these not soup kitchens or things like that, like donating to homeless shelters, but like I'll give them a lunch for one day. Right. Okay, I did my part. It's like that's very kind and well-meaning, but
they will starve to death in 12 hours.
I want to talk about solutions that, like, can we fix the hole at the bottom of the oil tank, right? Like, can we create the sort of community shelter that you're talking about, where reallocate our money, charge for $10 a year for the library, and then have a rehabilitation and food and shelter, right, where we are specifically, we can have computers in there for Yahoo. This is the Yahoo Gaming Center.
And that's the point. But that's the point. Again, I'm talking about poor, disenfranchised neighborhoods. And when you have a city library, city libraries are generally, for their credit, around the whole city. And because they're because they're run by the city, not run by a corporation, right? Like you go into a McDonald's in a shitty neighborhood, it's shitty. You go into a McDonald's in a good neighborhood, it's good. Because the good neighborhood McDonald's make more, and sometimes even, if you think of like the rock and roll McDonald's in Chicago, can even charge more money so they can keep it nice. It's a business, but since the library isn't a business, it's as nice as they can make it in every place that there is one. Now, of course, I think the nicer neighborhoods sometimes have slightly nicer libraries, but I've been to nice libraries in otherwise downtrodden neighborhoods. So that's my point. Again, I don't want to keep going back to her like some shitty politician at a town hall meeting doing some fucking sob story, but the 10-year-old doing her calculus homework, that may be the only safe space in her entire neighborhood. And you're going to let whoever wants in to do whatever they want whenever they want.
Well,
and I'm the Republican. Fuck you.
Jesus. Well, God. I guess I just also just to further, just I don't have rants like that. You're so angry.
Oh, my sauna.
I guess what I also think about is
destroys all my saunaing.
You destroy.
I'm inflamed
you
again.
Destroy your own.
I'm inflamed again.
Oh Jesus. I think that. But just another aspect of that is librarians and what they're trained to do, and they're not babysitters, you know, like
Right.
they're, and I think that in the same logic, and just like for their own safety, or you know, like I guess I don't know what training they get in that sort of thing, and like social practices, or if they have. I mean, I'm sure libraries I've been to have security guards who, you know, police that sort of thing, but it takes away from that skill set that they're there to offer to the community, right? So if we had better resources in other places, I just feel like there's so many things that we think we have solutions for, and that, I think well-meaningly defend, like, libraries being an open public space, which it still would be with your plan, but at least doing it a little smarter and creating a different kind of space for that social problem.
Well, here's the last thing I'll say. You know, if your solution is well, why should there be a guard or a person telling us what we can and can't do in the library? Well, you know what you can do to easily curb that from happening is take it upon yourself to have some barometer of shame inside yourself. You know what society doesn't need security guards at the library? A society filled with people that knows what a library's for and can self-police. But like I said, when we have people go like, I didn't buy anything, and I'm not going to buy anything, but I'd like to stay here as long as I want and use the facilities as much as I want. When you have that as the general rule, and you have people going like, yeah, you should be able to, well, then you put the business in no other position than to be like, okay, well, we're going to have to define a policy then.
Or take away the seating.
So, right, exactly. So the point is like, I didn't think I'd have to say you can't jerk off or play Yahoo games for 5 hours in the library.
Have you seen someone jerking off in the library? You don't go to libraries.
I never have, but I know one time, I swear, in a fucking, I think it was like a college, I think it was an Ohio State library that was a college library, but it had public, I think the main library on Ohio State, if I remember correctly, like public access. I swear I saw a guy like looking at porn, but I think it was like bikini babes. I think he's just like, again, instead of just being a human being, he's like, well, if they're in bikinis, that's not porn. I bet I can try to not get someone yelled at, to yell at me. But I was just like, again, like it was one of those things like, and again, I don't even care about me. Like I said, I care more about, I was in college, like I was of privilege, so I'm like, oh, fucking. But there's still this thing of like, yeah, but I'm trying to learn. Right. Why are you here?
You know what it
this
reminds me of?
This is a library.
How we push all this responsibility onto teachers, for example, to like raise the children and be responsible for every little thing. We will blame them for everything the kid does wrong or anything that happens. It's sort of like, okay, let's just shoulder all of this onto the library. It's their responsibility to take care of our sick and homeless. Although I will say, when I went to Irving Park's library branch, I go there all the time. I love it. But I went there to work one day and felt like I was in a magical, mythical land that I could just sit anywhere and work forever without having to buy anything, and all, some dues I owe and still use the restrooms. It was beautiful.
Libraries are good.
I love them.
Not saying that. Take us into topic 3. Let's
topic
close the thing out, baby girl.
Okay. So this story's so funny. Okay. Headline: Mom, preschool's ban on the term best friend is silly. Georgetown, Massachusetts. A Massachusetts family is looking for a new preschool for their 4-year-old daughter because her current school has barred use of the term best friend. Julia appeared sad recently when she came home from Pentucket Workshop Preschool in Georgetown. The little girl told her mother she was upset because her teacher told her she couldn't call one of her classmates her best friends. School officials did not comment, but in a letter to the Hartwells, they said it had been their experience that the use of the term best friend, even when used in a loving way, can lead some children feeling excluded. Hartwell called the band outrageous and silly. She says children should be allowed to speak from their heart. Which, just that ending too. No, yeah, children can be allowed to speak from their heart. Doesn't mean it's all like valid, right? But whatever, that's another topic. So my question is, what term do you think will be banned next? We've already banned bossy.
Yeah.
Now best friends is getting too
Hashtag
polarizing.
BBFF, ban best friends forever. BBFF.
Ban BBFF.
No, just hashtag BBFF. You know what I was kind of thinking when I was kind of musing on this? I was thinking everything that's old is new again. And everything comes back in this like hilarious way. And I just think there's so many people that don't even realize the weird just hypocrisy or more just often just irony of the whole thing. And it's just funny because it's like, I feel like the way things move quicker and quicker, it's like, dude, that just happened a year ago. How did you forget that happened? You sound like a fool. So this hasn't happened yet, but I think it will. And I think those people will sound crazy. I feel like no. I feel like banning no. And I feel it's like,
I don't know, that's like a consent word.
Exactly. And I feel like 3 years from now, it's going to be like, I tried to get a job as an astronaut, and they said no. And I say, never tell me no. And it's like, we're fostering an environment where we don't say no.
There's always options available.
We say yes, or let's look at the options. Hashtag ban no.
That's funny. Mine is, so...
Do you see that? Do you see that as, like, you know what I'm saying? Even if you don't agree with that word, like, you know things have happened that are that silly.
Well, like, where it's like, rejection is sort of glossed over.
But it's not even that, but that thing of, like, wait, we're not supposed to say that? I thought that was, like, a good thing, or, like...
Yeah, saying no is, like, all in the spheres of, like, self-care. Learn to say no.
But I feel it's going to be like, don't let anyone tell you no. But it's for your job, not for fucking. Okay,
now that we've cleared that up.
Anyways, this is a long bumper sticker now. All right, what's your word?
So mine, it's kind of related. So when I played basketball in middle school, we had an A team and a B team. No, here's me bragging. I was on the A team.
Point guard. Hashtag ban the alphabet.
Starting point guard.
Alphabets make kids cry.
I wasn't starting point guard. I was starting number 2 position. Anyway, so... Yeah, so A and B team, and it was like an honor to get on the A team. It was like what you hustled for. Like, that was such a moment.
Honor to get on the A team, but you were irreversibly killing the spirit of the B team kids. Is that worth?
And it's so sad.
Is that worth
like,
what you've got?
I remember writing a story for our school newspaper about a kid who worked really hard to go from the B team in 7th grade to the A team in 8th grade, and was like so proud of all this work he'd done in the summer. It was like, it was fucking cool that he had this marker of his practice.
Wait, you wrote a story about that in middle school?
Yeah. I know.
You wrote like a feel-good fluff piece for the student newspaper?
It wasn't a feel-good fluff piece. It was a feature story.
Who are you?
Also, the school newspaper, I have an old copy. It wasn't a newspaper. It was like 4 sheets of printed out paper stapled together. There was only a few issues. Like, it didn't last very long.
Because they didn't have a dedicated reporting staff.
One of them had like 5 stories by Jackie Manty. And that was kind of it. There was like maybe 2 other
Such an
stories.
overachiever.
No, I just really liked writing. I'm just going to be a reporter. It's me from the RVMS Herald. Anyway, so when I got into high school, I don't know if I had graduated yet or maybe it was my senior year or something. They changed that in middle school from A and B team to blue and gold team.
What was better, gold?
I don't remember. I'm assuming gold because it's like gold, but it was like this.
Oh, those are school colors. Is that why?
Blue and gold, yeah. And like they're both winning colors, but like like blue ribbon, gold medal. But like gold's the Olympics. I don't know. So again, it was very ambiguous. It was very unclear.
Good job, Marion.
Whoever named it, it's very smart. So anyway, so I think that will go even further, and it'll be. We no longer have varsity and junior varsity. We have varsity and varsity light. No, I don't know.
No, I don't know. Varsity blue and varsity gold.
Yeah, varsity blue, varsity gold. Yeah.
Varsity Blues, great movie. Holds up. Watched it a year ago.
Is that with Dawson's Creek?
Yeah, James Vanderbeek. Me and Jackie are plowing through Dawson's Creek now. So
Which again, another TV show that it's just crazy to see.
how fucking
Like
good it is.
how good it is, yes, but like also how I've seen one black person in 2 seasons, and like that would never happen today. We're so diverse as far as hashtag inclusion.
Maybe, I don't
writers.
know. It's supposed to take place in like a white place.
I know, but like, come on, there would be someone on their ass and some think piece about how there's no
Hashtag Dawson
people
so
of
white.
color. Dawson's so white. All right. Well, thank you guys. This has been so much fun. I've been Jackie Manti. You can find me on Twitter at Jackie_Manti.
What?
Send me those tip pics to Jackie at JackieManti.com. And you can follow.
Big, round, floppy, cake nipples, whatever you got.
We love
Tiny
'em.
little poker outers.
We love them. And we won't look at them on the library computer. And you can see all my stuff at JackieManti.com. Got some blogs up, some new writing at MildlyDepressed.com. And my podcast is going over there. So check it out. Justin Golak. You can find him at Justin Golak on Twitter. Respond to the Lone Star Cap, bottle cap, and you will be considered for a prize in a few months. You can find him at JustinGolak.com. You can email him your dick pics, veiny, meaty, short, stocky. We don't care. We love
I
them.
don't care.
We
I just
love
want
them
something
all.
to jerk
Body
off to.
positivity.
NSFW, get them in the inbox, baby girls.
Justin
and baby
at
boys.
JustinGolak.com.
Yeah.
What you got? Any shows coming up?
JustinGolak.com, upcoming shows, tons of stuff in Chicago, but more importantly, in May, 5 for the road, doing 5 shows on the road. Be at the Drop Comedy Club the weekend of May 11th and 12th, and leading up to that, May 8th, I'll be in Louisville, May 9th in Indianapolis. Tickets for sale. You can buy them early. And I encourage that because they are small venues. So
Yeah, get them now.
get them now before they are gone at justingolak.com. Upcoming shows. There's a link right there. You click buy tickets. It'll take you. You go, I want 5, and you get 5, and then that's it.
All right.
That's all I got to do.
Thanks for listening, you guys. I'm going to go eat the rest of my raccoon cucumber snacks. Cucumber snacks. Trademark. Check us out. FemComPod.com.
Yep.
For all your past episodes of A Feminist and a Comedian Walk Into a Bar. And lowclass.com. That's LO-class.com.
.com. Bye.
Bye.